Alright, so I'll be starting today's recording with the news. I'll be starting with the news for today because it looks like we're going to have a very volatile Friday. We have the flash manufacturing PMI and the flash services PMI, which are economic indicators. Above 50, they are showing economic expansion. Below 50, they show economic contraction. And we have them across major currencies like the euro, the GDP, the Canadian dollar, and the USD today. They're all happening today throughout the day. We've already had the French and the German one, and they were a mixed bag because the manufacturing had gone down, 45.5 for the French, 44 for the German. So it's below 50. The industry is not expanding in terms of manufacturing, but the services were booming. Quite superior from the previous numbers at 53.6, now 56.3 for the French, 53.3 for the German, 55.7 for the German. So services are going up. Now, if the euro improves, we're going to have the eurozone coming out. I think it's come out already. Let me just refresh my page. The euro, yes, same. It's a little bit like an average of the French and the German. Same situation. I'm not surprised because, again, the French and the German are mainly the economies in the euro space. So services are up, manufacturing is down, which again will have an impact on the DXY because the dollar is traded against the euro. Now I'm gonna change to the DXY here and show you where the DXY is because I think it's quite relevant where it is. Now we are having a test and back test, a support line that has now been turned into resistance on the daily time frame. So what we're seeing at the moment is we've had 4 back tests of the 20 MA on the daily in this downswing, and at the moment it's looking like we've done a W, the start of a W formation. Of course, you know that for the W to be validated we need to get above this point in the middle. So it looks to me like the DXY will at least try to go up to the 200 EMA. It might get rejected there. I don't think so, but I think it's going to go past it and maybe try to do a higher high here. If it does do a higher high here, there are cases where the W as a pattern fails and turns back down for a triple bottom formation. But if we're looking at how many times it's tested the 200 EMA, it broke it here. Here it held for support. It broke it here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times is usually the breakout time, and we've had a lot of bullish divergences in the meantime. So with the manufacturing in the euro space so far down, we might see a little bit of a rise for the dollar. We might. It does depend on what the pound will do, what the Canadian dollar, and also what the dollar itself, most importantly, will do. But to me, this looks like the DXY could get up and test the 50 and the 200 EMA on the daily. That's if I'm to look at this chart and say where's the next level that it's going to get to. Not necessarily down because it's been holding this. It needs to get up and then to get down if it is to drop. But we need, again, macro support for that. Now, that's the first point that I wanted to make. So first, there's going to be a day of volatility today because of all those PMIs coming out. So expect volatility. Watch your trades carefully, and if you think it's gonna reverse, take your profit. The way the coins are, and I will be repeating that a couple of times. The way the coins are on the daily, the 2-day, the 3-day space, I don't think we're going to see reversals. If you have a good entry point at the top of the range, I wouldn't be rushing to take daily profits. If you only went in on a 15-minute short, yes, there may be more volatility up and down in that space. Now, I'll show you the SPX as well. Now, yesterday I was looking at this, and to me this looks like a triple top formation here. It's tried to break through this level of support and resistance, and it hasn't managed yet. Now, we've been trying to break the peak in February for, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days now. We've tried to do it. It's around the top at the moment on the daily. It came down yesterday, as did the coins as well. Back tested the 20. That's not the 20. That's the third. That's the 13th. The orange line is the 20. Just give me a second. I need to double check. Yeah, it's the 13 EMA, so it hasn't yet come down to yeah, I should have seen it here because the 20 is orange in my Bollinger. So it hasn't yet come down to the 20. To me, if it does come down to the 20, it's going to come down to the 20 for very little time, and then we're going to see reversal. The S&P so far has done a beautiful back test and continuation pattern, but if we're not going to see the peak in February get broken anytime soon, this is going to start collapsing. Like, it can only stay there for so long. Also, in terms of momentum, we can see that reflected in the daily stochastic, which has turned down. It's not back yet in this normal range box, the light blue box. When it gets there, you can see that it rarely reverses from there. So once it's there, we can see more downturn. The 2-day right at the top turned down. Yes, it can stay there. Absolutely, it can. But at the moment, we need to look at what's in front of us and what are the indicators telling us. And the 1-day and the 2-day are turned down. So that is pretty strong high time frame momentum for the S&P. I don't see it continuing upwards from where it is at the moment. Now, the 3-day is on its way up, so it could still keep going. Absolutely, we could have that, but at the moment, the 1-day and the 2-day are coming down. The 3-day does have a bearish divergence here. So to me, we're getting close to the end of this S&P rally. Unless we see extreme volatility today, breaking the peak in February, we're gonna start heading down. Of course, at the moment there is still support, so I will have that reversal confirmed when we see the breaking of support. You know, I always like, we need to, when we're looking at reversals, we need to see what is the validation of continuation to the upside, and that would be the breaking of the previous peak. And then what is the validation of the reversal, the breaking of support? We haven't yet broken support, but we haven't broken the peak, so we can only stay at the peak for a while. If we don't break it, we're going to start seeing reversals. That's what I want to say. Sorry, I was a little bit I waffled there for a little bit. So just to summarize, today is going to be quite high in volatility. You know that the end of the Friday New York session is quite relevant because it's going to give us the direction. One day of the weekend will go in that direction, one day will reverse, and Monday will continue the direction set on Friday. That's what generally happens for the coins and also for the S&P. Now, quickly on the ETH and BTC charts, I've already posted the levels, so I don't have much to say. I'm gonna just give you the main points of these two charts. Just a second, I'm watching a trade in XRP. So for ETH, as you can see on the daily, we have been down on the stochastic. Now, the daily has been down on the stochastic and it still has space to move down. I'm going to do the same as I did for the S&P. Like the 2-day is already in the normal range box. The 3-day is down. It's not yet in the blue box, but to me there's like, where can it go? It could reverse. It's going to take a while to reverse a 3-day stock, but if we're looking at the structure, this is a reversal structure. Of course, we still have 15 hours. So again, the closing of New York and tonight's midnight will show us if this is the reversal pattern that we have for ETH. It's been very generous in ranges so far. As you can see, it's now trying to break the 1920, 1930 range. This is a very important daily range. In my opinion, it is going to break it. I know that other stocks are looking exhausted, like the 12 hours looking exhausted, but at the same time, there is no sign of a reversal, and you will hear me say this multiple times. Now, this is a daily move at this point, and we're looking for 4-hour support and 4-hour backtests. Unfortunately, ETH hasn't given us backtests to get into a trade. I tried to get into a trade the same way I got into a trade with Bitcoin, and it came super close to the 0618 and did not give me my entry. And after that, I just went on watching it and stopped looking for an entry because I'm already into short positions with Bitcoin and XRP. So unless this gives me an easy entry that I could follow easily, I'm not gonna try to chase it. But yes, it's not. I'm not seeing any signs of reversals. It hasn't yet backtested the 20 on the 4-hour. We have the crossing of the 20 and the 55 on the 4-hour for ETH. This is not going to stop anytime soon. At least not until it does something to find support on the 4-hour time frame. Because again, if it's a daily move, I'm going to be watching the 4-hour for signals. So this is going to continue until a 4-hour MA or a 4-hour support and resistance or a 4-hour reversal are going to catch it. If this is going to come down to the 200 MA on the 4-hour at 1870, which coincides with the golden pocket of this, and also it coincides with the trend line that I have on the 4-hour. If this is going to, let me just put this here. This is going to go to this region, even a little bit lower, the 702, and then stay there on the 4-hour and consolidate and pull down the MAs that will be used for support on the reversal to the upside, then happy days, we are reversing. So that's what I would be looking for. But at the moment, there is no support on the 4-hour. And there's not only in terms of going up, but also there's no support at the base of the move. So we're in the middle of the range, and I believe that the 200 MA is a very magnetic one, so it will be pulling price action towards it. What it needs to get, what's holding it back is, of course, it's the 0.5 of this local swing, and I'm taking swing by swing in this correction because of how choppy we've been lately. So of course, it's the 0.5, but it's also that daily 1930 level that's holding it back. I've already posted that, and I will be constantly watching for this today and at the weekend. So when I see the 1920, let's say 1910 level be broken, we will probably see a bigger spell for ETH. Again, it's quite spectacular in terms of moves when it gets going. Okay, so that's ETH. Just to wrap it up and summarize the ranges for the weekend. I know it's a big range, and I know that I've been overestimating ranges at the weekend lately, but that's the space that we're in. It's been tricky, and ETH, unless you went for a breaking of support, backtest continuation here on this line, you wouldn't have had too many backtests, technical backtests and entries. So some moves don't offer technical backtests to gain an entry. So I'm not taking a trade because that wouldn't allow me to put a tight stop loss on it. So if I can't put a tight stop loss on it, I won't be willing to put a more generous one on it, because it would take me more trades to make the loss back if it goes the other way. So I'd rather let the swing play out, and while I'm trading two other coins, there will be at least one that will be offering, you know, a technical move. Again, I'm making an assumption. Maybe there's no coin, in which case I let this play out. But the way I'm using the tight stop loss and the 0618 for ETH and Bitcoin and the 702 for XRP at the moment, with only a tight 0.5 move, 5% at 10x. If I don't get that, I'll let it play out. And yes, I might be waiting for a little longer, but that's okay. I'd rather wait and watch. So, I did this session twice yesterday because it didn't record, and I thought I was gonna have my ideas organized, but there it is. The waffle mode is on. So what I'm trying to say is the space is quite generous for the weekend. I'm gonna adjust it slightly from last night, and I'm gonna pull it down to the 20. There we go, the 20 EMA on the 4 hour. Now we need to be quite cautious with this, because ETH, I've seen lately, likes to spike through that 20, likes to close above it on the 4 hour time frame and then reverse. So we need to be a little bit mindful of that. Keep that in mind. But of course, if you practice risk management, you will, if it does spike you out, you will be gaining a better entry on the next swing. So 1984, I'm going to post this updated 1984, like the novel. So that would be here, the backtest of the 20 EMA, and then the 702, and I'm being quite conservative, 702 for retracements and corrections. And I'm using the 702 because it's along the lines of this long-term support and resistance. Like, this goes all the way back to May 2022. It's that strong in terms of support and resistance. Locally, we got to it as a 4 hour. It's interesting how that happened, because I was just charting the 4 hour, and then when I started to draw this back, I saw how far back it goes. So 1825 and 1984, $150. It sounds like one of ETH's very common ranges, and that would be in line with. Let me change to the daily. See if I have. I don't have an MA on the daily, but I do have this strong support and resistance line at 80.40. And yes, $20, as much as it's quite generous, $20 could still be a move up and down that support and resistance. But yeah, that's it. That's the range. I'll keep you posted if I see any reversal structures. At the moment, where the trend is down. We have the stochastic on the 4 hour turned up, but the daily is still pushing down. The MAs are looking very much like they want to push down some more. Price action hasn't gained any support. So out of a sea of reasons for the down, like the daily, the 2-day, the lack of support, the MAs across the board, we only have the stochastic on the 4 hour that's turned up. So that would be the counter argument for this. But it hasn't yet gone into the normal range box, so it could still meet resistance here and then start heading down. So I'll trust the reversal when I see support being gained. At the moment, we haven't even backtested a 20 EMA. Now, the other coin is BTC. So on the daily time frame, we have BTC closing below the 20 MA, which is the same for ETH as well. I forgot to mention, but yeah, we are below the 20. We have the daily stochastic, we have the daily MACD. Now, I'll show you something. You see on the daily MACD, the way the sellers are getting more here. So I can't, when these three waves were showing the sellers becoming gradually less, well, not this one continued, and then we had this baby one, and that led to a rise here. Here the buyers got gradually less, which ended up in a sell here. I was telling you last week about the MACD showing these decreasing waves of difference between the buyers and the sellers. This is what I want to see for continuation to the downside, because I am in a short position. Came quite close to my target, but didn't hit it this morning, so I'm watching this. But I trust London will at least push down a little bit lower. So where are we? So that was the daily showing continuation of the downwards momentum. That's the 1 hour again showing continuation of the downwards momentum. We are above the 1 hour VWAP, so we need to break this 1 hour VWAP for more continuation down. We haven't, even on the 1 hour, we've got pretty close to the 20 MA, but we haven't really back tested it. So it's the VWAP that we keep back testing. So again, very few technical entries for BTC. I was really lucky. This week, what I practiced for both XRP and BTC, I tried to do the same for Ethereum, but it didn't pan out for Ethereum. When we have a 1 hour V-shape rejection like so, it looked like a V-shape rejection. I didn't think it was going to do such a high 1-2 on the 1 hour. I put the entry the way I showed you, not with reference to the peak, with reference to the top of the next sell candle. So right about here, and BTC was really generous to give me that entry, and also my stop loss, because I put my stop loss again with reference to the same peak, not with reference to the higher peak in the swing, and it was a difference of $11, and it kept me in. And then I was lucky enough to watch this because I was up with the signing of the papers on Wednesday. That was just a stroke of luck, and I could actually DCA in here quite close to my entry point when it broke the 20, and it before it kept on spilling. So BTC, I was, again, that's where luck comes in, if you ask me as a trader, because I do the same technical thing over and over again, and sometimes it gets so close. Outside of that, there were some entries here, there were some entries here, there were some, even here there were some entries that wouldn't be knocked out, because it doesn't break the previous high, doesn't break the previous high, doesn't break the previous high, but they're way riskier. And if you put your you will see that the take profit decreases, so it's at 3%, 2%, still valuable, because you're looking at the trend coming down and you're following. If you take your profits, great, happy days. But it's good to get one of these entries at the top of the range, which is, again, what I've been waiting for BTC. I watched it all through last week, and this is what I waited for, one of these tops here. So at the moment, I haven't yet closed my position. My target was 27.8, and it came down to 27.10, 27.810, 8.9 or 8.10. I will be waiting patiently, because I'm not going to close a short position with the stochastic on the hour coming down. I technically, it would just be no. My technical angel on my right side says no, wait for it, be patient and give it time. So let's see the levels. Where did I put the levels? Did I put them on the EMAs? There we go. Yes, I did put them on the EMAs because I was using the daily EMAs. So we are below the 20 EMA and MA on the daily. We have the 5 coming down today. This is likely going to do a push down. It's already done a lower low on the day, but not a lower low with reference to Tuesday's lower low. So we still have, not Tuesday, sorry. No, that was just me misreading. I was like, did anything happen? Sorry, that was just stupid branch. So we did a lower low today. Lower low with reference to Wednesdays, Thursdays, today's Friday. Now, learning the days of the week, I was hesitating between leaving my target where it is and putting it down to 26.8, which is the 50 MA on the daily. Again, very magnetic. Usually it breaks through it after consolidating. It broke through it previously. Now it started spilling, so it might not break through it, but it could absolutely breach it. So our weekend levels are between the 20 MA or EMA if you're using it. I'm using both of them, and you might have seen me change them because it depends on which chart I'm looking at. But the target will be the more conservative one, so which is the closest in my direction. Where did I? That should have been a Bitcoin chart, but I changed it on my phone. So that would be this would be the space that we would be moving in at the weekend. I anticipate a drop today and then some back tests up and down moving in that space. And I'll show you the 4-hour levels so that you understand what I mean. Okay, so here are the 4-hour levels. Right on the 702, right on the 702, which is right on this, support and resistance line that we've seen for ages. Now, this is 27,788. That's why I put my target. But as you can see, if we're going into detail, it's right on the 702, 27,805. And this one was 27. No, I'm not. 809. Yeah, 809 point something. So, do I think we're gonna break slightly lower? I think we will. With the 1-hour stochastic looking like that. But I'm also looking at taking my profits. If this next hour doesn't break lower, so we've started a 4-hour happy days, but I need to see the 1-hour continuing lower. So if this hour in about 25 minutes doesn't break lower and doesn't do a strong convincing candle, I'm happy it's breaking the view up now. If this doesn't break lower, then I'm looking to take my profit because it's too close. It's too close, and I want to get paid on Friday and have a nice relaxing weekend without watching a trade for $9 away from my target. It's already given me a nice nice profit. So finally, BTC is making my monthly profit. So that's the BTC situation. I don't see any reversal. We could, depending on what happens when we reach the 20, again, my point of reversal would be somewhere around 26.8. Even lower, the support and resistance line at 25K is quite important. So I'll be able to do a more long-term analysis when we have got into that space and we're holding that space. But at the moment, we're not holding any space. We keep moving downwards. We have corrected the local swing, which is great, but we haven't corrected the daily swing. So this big boy over here, if I am to put a fib retracement on it, there we go, haven't even reached a modest 382 or a 0.5. 382 is 23.8, 24K, let's say. 0.5 is 21.9, 22. So this big boy hasn't yet corrected. And again, very modest, 25, 24. And we could still be continuing to the upside. In fact, that would be, again, step by step going up, the way step by step we've come down. So the way we stayed here to break the support, we could be moving here in this space to break resistance. That would be the course of action. But until we get some support on the way down, I don't see this movement down reversing. That's the main point. We're moving down. We don't have any signs of reversal. As long as we don't have signs of reversal, there's no profit taking for me at the moment in my positions. That is it for me. I'll be posting updates as I see New York unfolding today. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chats.